So for 235, we are analyzing and interpreting a real-world graph, and for this one, it is all about a banana tree and its growth. And so we need to identify the independent variable, dependent variable, and then interpret the slope and the y-intercept. And so the first thing you want to do is read the graph like I did, figure out what we're talking about. In this case, our banana tree is growing. We have days at the bottom and height in inches. And so the first thing is, what is the independent variable? And there's two ways to do this. One is just straight up memorizing that the independent variable is on the x and the dependent is on the y. The second is to analyze, like, okay, as days pass, is that causing the tree to grow? Or is the tree growth causing the days to pass? And the only one that makes sense is that as days pass, the tree is growing, so the independent variable is days, and dependent variable is height. Then it says, what is the slope in this context? In this context, it is important that you do not just write the slope. We ask you to calculate slope in a different question, and so this is different. You have to interpret it related to this banana tree. So I first have to find the slope, and so you can either use the slope formula, so I can write down that this is 1, 12, and this is 2, 16, and I can use the slope formula. Or you can be really careful and count your rise and run. The reason I say be really careful is because the real world graphs are often not counting by ones. And so as I count my rise, this is not up 1, this is up 4. 12 to 16 is 4. My run, 1 to 2, is 1. So my slope is 4 over 1, or just 4. I like to keep it as a fraction and then label it with what it is. So 4 is the rise, which is the inches, and 1 is the run, which is the days. And so in this context, our slope is 4 inches over 1 day. So we can say the banana tree grows 4 inches every day, or every 1 day. And we're growing because this is positive. You could also say every day the banana tree grows 4 inches, or for every 1 day, the banana tree grows 4 inches. As long as you have both the 4 inches and the every day, then you will get that part correct. The second one is, what is the y-intercept? Again, in this context, do not just say what the y-intercept is. That's not the question. And so in this, we can see our y-intercept is where we cross the y-axis, which is 8, and it's 8 inches. So we can see that is our inches. And our y-intercept in the context is always a starting point, so where it starts. And you just have to think about, what does that mean for this scenario? So we can say, like, the banana tree was originally 8 inches tall. So maybe when we got the banana tree, it was 8 inches tall, and now we're tracking its progress. You could also say the banana tree was 8 inches tall at the start or at the beginning. Anything that kind of has, like, where it originates. That's what you need to interpret for the y-intercept.